And here we are.
Welcome to Hose on Air, everybody.
Hey, Hose.
I'm your host, Lucie. This is your host, Sarah.
Sarah, oh my God.
I'm sorry, we just got finished sharing theatrical experiences. We were talking about microphones. For those of you on TikTok, so you got the previews. But we were talking about mic packs, you know, because we got to wear these little mics. Can you see them?
Do I see it? Oh, I have one too.
I got to wear these little mics for TikTok. And I was sharing with Sarah that when I was in theater, I actually had a thong custom made, you know, to hold like in the flat of your back. It has a little pocket, and you stick this big old mic pack in there, and then they run the wire up your back and through the hair. So we were talking about flossing.
That sounds really comfortable, Ho.
Yeah.
And what I would like to add to that, do you know about ass callus?
I'm sure you're going to teach me about it. Let's go.
This is what people cultivate. And by people, I mean all people, anyone who wants to wear a thong, okay? And it's the kind of thing where, you know, that floss is up in your ass.
Yeah.
And you walk.
Mm-hmm.
And you walk and you move. And it rubs. And
well, then you don't have a very good thong. It shouldn't rub.
I just don't see how they could not. I don't see how that's hygienic. And then...
well, you clearly don't wear one.
That depends on the occasion. Here's the deal. People who wear them full time, like I know people who actually prefer thongs.
Yes.
These are insane people. And I say that they have developed the ass callus. This is when there's been enough of that rubbing that there's sort of like this, your skin has toughened up.
Oh,
you
God,
see,
no.
To the point that when that rubs, you don't feel it.
No.
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
No, it's not a thing.
That's a thing.
There's no callus.
There is
You're buying the wrong underwear.
Well, it was horrible.
Well, you're wearing the wrong underwear. If you're wearing a good thong, right, ladies? If you're wearing a good thong, you don't feel it.
Thongs are for all people.
Yeah, but okay, all people, men included.
Yeah.
If you're wearing a good thong, you don't feel it. Mm. You don't.
Well, it was from Victoria's Secret.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, they fancy have you people heard of it? They fancy themselves an ultimate, you know, lingerie store for slut clothes.
I own a few of those pieces, but you have to be selective about which ones you buy.
Well, yes, we must always be discerning when we're going to stick something up our butt.
It is true.
That's my philosophy.
It should be anybody's
and
philosophy.
You know, that doesn't mean that it is. You know, can I just bitch for a minute?
What a way to start a show. Oh my God.
Oh, wait. So I don't know if you know this about me, Lucie, but I fancy myself an intellectual of sorts on certain topics. And I went to the internets because everything on there is true.
It's so true.
I went on there just this morning.
Don't cross-reference anything. It's all true.
Go. Well, I do have, I fancy myself a sideline dating coach of sorts because I have been out there and I've studied dating coaches, all kinds, you know, the slutty kind, and the classy kind. And I tend to stick with the classy kind because I want to know what kind of classy information is being put out there.
Now, I just want to know, have you ever come across one that is just out for a giggle?
No, these people take this topic really seriously, and I think that it kind of needs to be. There's a lot of emotional constipation out there. And when you take that into account with the fact that people don't know what the bloody hell they're doing, and that everybody, oh, Marsha, hi. Oh, she'll have things to say.
Then Marsha should know. She's been in a room with you.
Well, several times.
Hey, Mariah.
Hey, how's, oh, Mariah. Hey, cheers. Hey, girl. Oh, it's so good to see our friends. So,
I got to read these comments over there where the camera is. I'm reading it up here.
You be the one multitasking because I can barely read because everything's that far away. But what I was going to bring up is the way that I thought, okay, I'm going to go on the internets and I'm going to read about one of my favorite and listen to my favorite topic, you know, dating and all of the buffoonery that's out there. Nothing is really new. Even in, you know, everybody's already oversaturated the topic that we're all online now, that, you know, your choices aren't just Mary and Fred next door or down the street. Now you're kind of competing with
there's an ocean of possibilities.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. You're competing with the whole world. That's an overdone I just don't like regurgitating topics that are already currently being overdone. Now, I'll regurgitate something that hasn't been brought up for years, like that spat with Fabio and George Clooney. Nobody's talked about it in a while. But with dating, It's the kind of thing that it continues to go on, and they just continue to think of different names for the same thing. This drives me crazy. For example, let me make you abreast, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a new term. Well, supposedly it's new. It's called winter coating. Winter coating. Would you have any idea what that is about? It's not about sex. It's a dating term for the way that people treat each other. Winter coating. Any guesses, Luce?
My guess would be that you give the initial chill with very little personal information to test out the waters.
That's actually pretty amazing, but no.
Okay.
That's meh. That is not what it means. No, but that was I like that. Maybe that should be what it means. What it means in this case is
winter is coming.
Well, yeah. And people are too lazy to go and find a real date, to invest the time in somebody that they really want to see. So it's sort of like going back and taking up with an ex. And so this term applies to people that, their ex suddenly gets a call. Hey, what you doing? Now it has to be in like October, November, when things start to get cold. These people that are the winter coaters, so to speak, go in and they just want someone for the winter, like a winter coat. Then you take it out of the closet for the winter.
Because of all the holidays?
Well, because it's fucking cold.
Oh.
And you take the coat out and you wear it for the winter.
I feel like it's more like they're doing it because it's all the holidays. It's Thanksgiving.
Well, there's that too.
Christmas and New Year's. Nobody wants to be alone during that time.
Well,
so
that's
you
true.
find a date that you can hold on to until the new year, and then you move on by February, which is Valentine's Day, and you decide, oh yeah, now I'm not buying you roses and candy and all that shit. I'm not that into you.
It's like you were watching what I was watching. That's exactly what it's about. But you know what I would call that? Plain old-fashioned dumpster diving. Okay? That's dumpster diving. Whenever you go back for an ex, there was a reason that they became an ex, and you go back for any period of time. I don't care if you want to call it winter coating.
Do you feel that more women do that or men do that?
I think it's for all genders. Yeah. I don't really see that there's a gender biased, kind of a thing with that. But here's so back to me. What I was really disappointed about is that there's really no new, fresh bullshit for me to make fun of right now. It's just more regurgitating people behaving in poor form and giving a different name to it. And that is what's going on out there. You gotta have a name for something. And I'm like, no, that's just being a douche. That's it. Nothing is new because human nature is what it is, even with technology and all of these.
History repeats itself. So if it's
even with dating websites,
it would, we'd go back to the 90s as we have.
So I got bored. I'm watching everything and I got bored with just even hearing about what's going on out there. And then it made me feel really crestfallen. And now I don't even know what to say. It was really upsetting. Nobody's doing anything new. And, that creates this moment. What just happened? This is awkward, isn't it? It's even more awkward now that I said it. Because I'm like, I'm going to go and I'm going to watch this and somebody's going to have done something really, really stupid. No, same old stuff.
Yeah, I have nothing to contribute there.
Well, I know you don't.
I know I have friends that I am often angry at because they end up having a shag with their exes, and that particular person called and it was a booty call and they thought it was going to be more, and then it turned out not to be, and it's a repeat event, and it's like, when are you going to learn
communication?
Well, I think it's just you don't have anybody else, and so
that's it.
You just go with it and you accept what is available. But it's kind of sad.
Well, it is. And to compound it, there's just a lot of poor form out there. We've talked about poor form. I can tell you a personal story about poor form.
Yeah.
Okay, so this goes on. And people, here's how you can tell if someone has done any growing, okay? Because if you get a call...
People don't want to grow nowadays.
Some do.
It's a small pool.
Don't disagree there. But... With the dating coaches that I watch and with you have to be into growing. It's kind of a standard. But what about when you haven't talked to someone for 2 years? 2 years in and of itself is a long time. And then they just suddenly text you out of the blue. Nothing is even spelt correctly.
Spelt?
Yes, spelt.
Spelt.
Spelt. Spelt.
Just making sure I spelt that
That's
correctly.
right. You got to spelt it correctly. No, there wasn't even a spell check. Oh dear. Oh dear. Lucy just cracked herself up. Spelt.
Spelt.
It's a dating term.
Not to be confused with smelt.
Now smelt, that's a completely oh God, that's a, when you can smelt people before you see them.
That's
even
totally
if
not what I meant. I
even if
meant
it's-
smelt like fish eggs you put on sushi.
Oh, that's disgusting. All right. So somebody texts me after 2 years and they don't even have everything spelt correctly. Okay. Full of typos. And they were like, hey, long time no talk. Are you still out there? And I look at this and first of all, I have to put
Who
in,
is this?
Who is it? I remembered who it was because, memories. But then I'm like, is that really his opener after 2 years? Oh, and by the way, COVID, people, this should give you a whole new arena of conversation. There is no excuse for this. If he would have come in with, hey, this has been some ridiculous times. How are you? That's what you want to come in with. Come on. And does it take that much effort? That's not being vulnerable or anything, but it is a little better. We're stepping up a bit from long time no talk.
Yeah, because
after
the
2
priority in the
years.
brain from the male on that perspective is let's just get to the part where I get in her pants. How fast can that happen?
I don't
You're
disagree.
You're taking this to this, and guys don't want to do that.
Some of them do. It's out there. Look at your face. Have you been out there recently?
I have not.
Then there you go. No,
But I
it's
can
a
say
matter-
it's never been the case for me.
I don't disagree that what you're saying is far more, what goes on. But once you wade through all the bullshit and you get past and you have a
So
little
40
pool
years later.
of the one, well, yeah, sometimes, yeah. You must have resilience, people. You must have resilience in this field. My point in bringing it up is that with the way that things
Well,
are,
I
there's
think-
no excuse to not be able. Here's the deal. Even if you do just want to get laid, that's fine. Let's just go in. That's not going to do it.
Okay, here, I'm just going to cut to the chase.
Please.
You are essentially doing that playing games thing to get around all the things to make it seem like you're not desperate enough that you just want to have sex.
When did we go to games? I'm talking about authentic behavior. And
No, I'm not. I know it's authentic behavior, but I'm saying women have a tendency, and I'm no judgment.
We're us.
But women have a tendency to think that they have to not be direct and go around the issue and find a backdoor, way of presenting the same freaking message that guys go, this is what I want.
I suppose that I should have started off with the caveat that everyone I'm talking about in this scenario is way beyond that. And I know that that's really difficult to imagine.
So you're
but there
talking
are
about
people-
guys that are in touch with their feminine side that know how to work that route.
That's one way of putting it. Or how about just, yet even another way to put it is guys who aren't douches, guys who have enough communication skills that they actually know how to reapproach people.
Reapproach is great, but wouldn't you also credit guys that are very direct and are like, look, I'm not looking for anything serious. I'm just looking for a hookup. Wouldn't that be honesty? And in your previous conversations, that would be appreciated because it's just honesty and out there, and either you take it or leave it. You can
Absolutely.
be offended by it if you so choose
Or not.
or not.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure.
So at what point do you decide that it was the wrong approach? Was it
Here's
was
the
the
deal.
wrong approach for you?
Well, absolutely, it was the wrong approach for me, but I don't think I'm alone in that.
I'm not saying you're alone.
No, I'm not alone. And furthermore, I will add, what made it worse, when you have a history with someone, remember I said it was dumpster diving. So we
Yes, that's a
already
fun term.
knew
so
each
many
other.
things come into my imagination when you say that word.
Me and we already knew each other is the point. Oh my God. I can see your thoughts going across your forehead. It's really creepy. This is some creepy shit.
Sorry.
Focus, Luce. So we already had a history. This wasn't just coming in with an opening line. So the point is, if you already know someone and you're just going in there, that's like taking everything that you ever had and Mariah.
Not the back doorway.
Thank you. See, she gets it. She gets it. It's the kind of thing where he had here. Okay, let's go back to you. Oh God, can we get a tissue? What? Oh, here, she's verklempt. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh God. Okay. So back to the central thesis.
Back to you.
Yes, back to me. And what I'm saying here is, if you have a history of someone, thus the whole term dumpster diving. Oh my God, could you? Dumpster diving. It's the kind of thing where they have an opportunity here. See, they already got laid with you in this scenario, and this is spring coding. So you got to follow along with the whole topic, okay? They don't want to go out and find someone new. So it's sort of already assumed that this is just going to be a temporary thing. But if you want a temporary thing to be a thing, your approach with someone who already knows you is very important, because and that leads to a completely different topic. There are windows where people...
Foggy windows.
These are clear windows, actually, where people are more likely to behave in ways that they wouldn't normally. For example, I call it a slut window. Okay, let's talk about the slut window. Slut window is when you are more, and this applies for all genders, all people, when you are more likely to go and put out than you normally would have been. There's a window for that.
Would it just be spring solstice? Because everybody seems to just want to be a jackrabbit during spring.
It can be any season. It's for all seasons, and it is for all people.
Yeah, but wouldn't you agree that during the spring, when you're done hibernating and all the flowers are coming up and the hummingbirds and the rabbits are all fornicating, that you kind of have a hormonal tendency?
Perhaps, but that's not, again, that's so back to me. That's not really the point. I'm talking
Isn't
about,
it though?
No, poor form is the point. Emotional constipation.
Well, it's not just emotional constipation. It could be hormonal constipation is my point.
So you're just saying that people want to get laid because it's spring and that opens the window.
I'm saying that there is a natural window that you're ignoring where there isn't really a choice. It's a Mother Earth sort of thing.
Okay.
Why do you think that most people get pregnant during the spring?
Oh, God.
Or during Christmas? There's 2 times a year that most people end up fornicating. Why is that?
Well, I do not know.
Yes, you do.
Because it's spring? Because the rabbits are out? What's the
Because
answer?
it's a natural energy of hormones that happens. You fornicate during the spring just like every other animal, because even though we are intelligent human beings, we are still animals. And in the holiday season,
yeah,
right?
What's going on there?
Yeah,
there's
the
a lot of
holiday
fornicating
season,
there.
there's a lot of fornicating because you got Christmas and you got New Year's. It's typically New Year's. And you got Valentine's Day. Those are your 3 like winter events that will spark fornicating.
Okay. So back to me. Where I was going is that poor form can exist in all seasons, unfortunately.
This is true.
And I don't care what season it is. If you want to reapproach because you're too lazy, Allison, thank you.
That's right. Wait,
gets
who's
it.
right, Allison, me or her?
Yeah.
You got to specify.
Start type. It's me. It has to be
How
me.
do you know it's you?
I just do.
Oh my God.
I just do.
You are so full of yourself.
Because well, no. Oh shit. Here she goes with the bullshit button. What's this do? Okay. I'm just saying.
You
Okay.
blew out the speakers
I
last
know.
time.
I turned the volume down. Lucy. Okay. No, I can't get it to work right. Here's whoa, shit.
Don't point it at me. I already have tinnitus.
All right. Oh dear. Lucy, what I'm trying
Sarah.
to say is,
I hear you.
no matter
I
what
see you.
are you giving me 100% of your attention? Am I the most important thing right now?
You are. There's nothing else in this room.
Are you really listening?
I'm.
Open up your ears and hear the words that are coming out of my mouth.
It's got to pass all my tinnitus, but we're there.
Okay, poor form Poor form is out there in all seasons. And what I am trying to help people to realize through the help of many other people out there, so many coaches that are actually trying to lead people to something real that lasts with happiness, because that is out there. Real that lasts with happiness. Couples that actually look forward to seeing each other, for healthy reasons, not just because the guy has some cocaine that you want and he wants to snuff it off of your boobs and stuff like that. Oh my God. I'm talking about more real things. So where I am going here is, if you're looking for that, there's a different approach, and dumpster diving isn't going to get you there. And the whole topic was, she called it winter coding, and I'm saying nope, that is just dumpster diving. That's not even new, and it doesn't really matter what season it is. She was just pointing out that winter is when people tend to do this more because of everything that you just mentioned, the holidays. And
you don't want to show up to
laziness.
Thanksgiving and then Christmas Eve and then Christmas and then New Year's with no date.
Well, that's what I do, and I like it fine.
Well, that's because you as an independent woman. But I'm just saying.
All right, well, I'm boring myself. Moving on. Sweet baby Jesus. Let's talk about neediness. Now, neediness gets a bad rap. Are you listening to me? Oh my God, I can't talk to Lucie today, people. Look at her. What is the matter with you? I can't talk to you like this. I didn't even say anything, and she's like,
Listen to Sarah. She's done her dating homework. She's like a date guru.
Allison, thank
Indeed,
you.
Allison.
Oh, Allison, my hoe to Allison. I love hers. And where I'm going now is neediness. Let's talk about neediness. What do you think about neediness? What is your definition, Lucie, of neediness? Let's hear that. Let's start there.
My definition
Get it
of
together now.
neediness is neediness. N-E-E-D. Just kidding.
Shit, this isn't a spelling bee.
I
Lucie spelt neediness correctly. Oh, Christ.
I feel that. What was the question? Oh, I feel
What is
that
neediness?
is when you are incapable of being happy with being with yourself, that you have to find a third party to give you fulfillment.
You are not wrong.
I know I'm not wrong.
That's definitely, but yet even another way
Yeah.
to say neediness is that sometimes people do have authentic needs. Like right now, I need you to hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. And I need you to comment on them.
Indeed.
So
I'm so there.
I would like to present the idea that we all have neediness in any relationship. And neediness gets a bad rap as if someone is inferior for expecting that third party to provide this, that, and the other. What I would say is, what is the intent behind that neediness? Is it that I expect you to do what's my job to fill in my shit? Or am I just bringing to the table things that would make me feel more satisfied with our situation and then getting faulted for being needy? Because did you follow all of that?
I
Did you hear
followed all of it, yes.
Okay. So where I'm going is, I feel that this can be in friendships, it can be in business, it can be in anything. When we feel that we can't go to that person and say what we're needing because we feel that we are putting a burden on them, that emotionally constipates things, because then you're not even giving that person the opportunity to step in and fulfill that need. And not only that, the person gets resentful because they're like, well, I'm not even bringing up my stuff, and they're still behaving that way. It creates a petri dish for disharmony.
But are we talking about personal needs, or are we talking about like you're living with somebody and there's domesticative roles that are not being met by each party?
Well, it can go with both of those things. What I am referring to...
Okay, so I'm going to interject because
please.
I don't think that when you go into a relationship and you're living with somebody, and there's authentic roles for each person to play, that those roles are considered needs. I would say those are established team entity
This is what
items.
I bring to the team. All right, if that is discussed.
And if you're not fulfilling that end of the team, then there becomes a need for that person to step up. But that doesn't I wouldn't call that neediness. I would call that a lack of presenting from the other party.
A lack of participation too.
That's a great word.
No,
See?
we need to participate in our relationships.
So can we identify what you mean by neediness? Because like me needing to cuddle every 5 minutes is neediness. But me needing somebody to keep the kitchen clean after they've cooked is not neediness. That's just
clean up your mess.
Clean up your fucking mess.
You
I'm not the
made
maid.
the mess. You clean it up. Agreed.
Okay, so can we
This would be
clarify?
Things, absolutely. This would be things.
Jesus Christ, did you turn the heat on in here, Erin?
Oh God, she's dying. I forgot my fan. Hello. Are you gonna be all right? Lucie's melting, people. She might go under the table. I might be on my own. Anywho, the neediness that I am talking about is stuff that isn't so put out there by a living together situation where it's obvious if you're a grown adult, clean up your mess.
Indeed.
Okay. What I'm talking about is stuff that the other person doesn't even know about. And then you need to say, hey, it really means a lot to me if you could take a Friday night off to come to see, something that's important to the person who's talking. So in other words, these are things that the other person in the relationship doesn't know about. So since you're not expecting them to read your mind, hopefully, which is another thing that goes wrong, you need to present that so that person has the opportunity to be like, okay, my partner.
Or fuck no.
Yeah, or fuck no. But at least if you bring it up,
Oh, sorry, Erin,
you're
I
not
cursed.
expecting them to read your mind. And you're not expecting them to just magically show up because they didn't know how important it was to you. You told them. It gives them the opportunity to step into
Sarah,
it.
if you're with somebody for like 15 years, shouldn't they already be reading your mind?
I just almost smacked you just for being so.
Annoying.
That's how people.
Am I being needy?
I just had. Did you see my hand right here? I just had to stop myself and give you a smack witch.
She's violent, Erin. I can't work in this environment.
And that would be another need, wouldn't it? She needs to not be abused by her co-host. I don't know. This is what people are talking about that are actually interested in not pursuing a teeny bopper relationship. This isn't for 20-year-olds, okay? They need to go and do whatever it is that they need to do.
Be jackrabbits. It's almost Easter.
That's right. I'm talking about people that are, they're settled down. They know what's what. Come on, people, you know who you are. It was disenchanting to just see that the same regurgitated stuff keeps coming up, and I just need a moment to mourn that it just doesn't seem to be evolving.
I understand. Let's take a moment.
In loving memory of when I gave a shit. Okay. Well, what else is important? Something like steroids and T-ball. What do we got here? Where's my list?
Rena, fulfillment of unspoken relationship contracts, equal participation in the relationship. Right, Rena? That's huge. Equal participation is the key to a happy marriage.
Well, it's the equal participating people. We must participate in our lives. Now, let's talk about some more poor form. People don't know when they're doing this. Sometimes you don't know how awful you feel until you're in a situation. I was speaking with a flight attendant. Now, she informed me that flight attendants, particularly for airlines leaving Vegas, they do not want the Sunday shift.
Of course not. Who would?
Yeah, and would you like
You
to tell
don't
me
even
why?
want to be on the road on a Sunday leaving Vegas.
Tell us why, Lucy.
Because everybody's wasted. The weekend's over.
It's like you were a
And if
flight
you're on the
attendant.
airplane, you have not only been wasted all weekend, but you got to the airport and had one final drink and ran one final slot machine before you got on the plane.
This is true.
So when you're on the plane,
See,
oh, stewardess, I can't tell where I'm sitting. Can you help me with my bag?
You're obviously a Sunday traveler. See, I did not know
I
this.
don't travel on Sundays.
I didn't. Well, and now I see why. I didn't know this. So I'm like, listen, I'm like, well, what's the problem here? You know, Sunday, just go home and you're there for Monday. You can do stuff. She's like, no. Now, so there was a woman getting on the flight. She was wearing white pants.
Oh, dear Lord.
So
Sweet baby Jesus.
I started to know where this was going to go. But anyway, this woman gets on the flight and everyone can see that, you know, she's going down the aisle. She needs the help of the seats. She's holding on, but she's carrying herself well enough that they don't kick her off. Okay. Now,
I have a story to share.
Oh God, hold on to it. I'll be quick. So then she's sitting on the plane, and it's that period of time where you can't, like, everybody needs to strap in because you can't, no lavatories at this point. And she's getting damp, you know, as one does before they get sick. Then as soon as it's able for her to be able to get up without being arrested, she goes and tries to make a beeline for the lavatory, but there was wooziness.
It takes her a minute.
Nope.
Yeah.
She goes down.
Oh, dear.
She goes down, okay?
Did she go down in someone's lap?
No, it was
Okay.
in the aisle, and then the pants, they're ruined, okay? We're talking anything can happen from any end. Now, what's a flight attendant to do? This was I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like,
Call
all the
Air
ears.
Marshal.
No. Evidently, you can't get arrested for shitting yourself when you're sick on a plane. But what you can do is really upset everyone. Like, would you want to be sitting next? Here's what they did. They got the airline
Put her
blanket.
in first class.
They got the airline blanket and put it around her waist. And that's what she's wearing for the rest of the flight. So I guess I think that she got to the lavatory, at least got the pants. She's wearing an airline blanket as a skirt.
Clothing.
Do you realize what could happen there? You could get scabies, rabies, any type of putting your bits on some sort of blanket.
What does
People
that
take
even
it-
matter? She's now covered in her own stuff. Like,
Well-
there's a lot more she could catch from that than the blanket.
Maybe that got rid of that. I'm just saying that I wouldn't have been able to. There's so many places that I could go with where this is going. But that wasn't the point. It was just really gross. And so she's wearing the blanket. Now, she can't get to any of her luggage. It's all underneath there. So she has to do the duration of the flight. And then let's take this further. She needs to go to baggage claim. Baggage claim.
Claim.
I can say claim. Cheers, ho.
Cheers.
I can talk. And she goes to baggage claim wearing a blanket. Have you ever seen anyone in baggage claim wearing a blanket?
Yes.
You've seen this?
Couple times.
Well, maybe now you know why. Did you wonder?
No.
I've never seen this.
It's Vegas. Anything goes.
She had to go get it, and then you have to go through there. And can you imagine feeling that way? What I learned from this entire story is don't get on the airplane if you feel that shitty.
Here's
don't
what I'm
go.
going to point out.
Because wait, before you do, what could be worse? Everything I have just described is one of my worst
It's
nightmares.
horrifying. But here's the thing. You're forgetting one major part. She's not going to remember any of this.
I don't know. Doesn't trauma seep
No,
in there?
not when you're that wasted.
I don't think she was still drunk. I think she was hungover.
Oh, I'm pretty sure she was still drunk.
I don't think so. I think she just felt horrible and she didn't want to give up
Still,
her-
even so,
her flight.
half of that is not going to be remembered. She passed out in the aisle.
Very briefly.
Yeah, but she's not going to remember that.
She fainted. It wasn't like she was drunk. It was from
You don't
lack
remember stuff when you go out.
This is what flight attendants deal with.
I'm just saying.
I can't imagine. And it's-
Mine's not quite as entertaining, but
tell us.
it wasn't coming out of Vegas. It was on a completely random
you-
mid-Atlantic flight.
Were you leaving from Amish country?
No,
Where were you?
I can't say, and I don't want to say.
Fair enough. We can't talk
But
about
I was
cities.
I was on a flight,
All right.
and I'm with my husband. We take our seats. This lady is in our aisle, and now I'm in the aisle seat. He's at the window seat, so I scoot over and let her have the aisle because we didn't think it was going to be full. Everybody does that. Come on. So she takes the aisle and almost immediately starts pulling out the barf bag. Now, mind you, I'm giggling at this because my girlfriend, as I mentioned on the last episode, does this as a gag to get people to not sit with her.
I think that's great.
So I'm giggling a little bit, and then I realize, no, she's serious. So she is not only completely drunk, but is now, I can see, sweating and about to go through withdrawals. And she's about to get on a plane, and we're about to get into the air for a 6-hour flight.
6 hours.
6-hour flight. Fuck. So we get up in the air. Nothing happens. Everything's good. She starts a conversation with me, which I hate, but I went along with it. I had to take my headphones off, turn the movie off. Now I'm talking to this woman who insists on talking to me.
That is so rude that she expected you to take off. Do you realize everything that you just said? You had to take off. So she sees you're all set.
Yeah, I'm
you
watching
got in your
a movie.
headphones and you're trying to lock in and disengage. How did she get your attention? What did she do? Was it?
No, it was the barf bag. And then she's looking at me and she's going, I'm sorry. And of course, like, I'm being who I am. I take the headphones off and I'm like, are you okay? Can I get you something? Is there something that you need? Tell me what's going on. Right?
What are you going to do? I'm just curious.
Well, I carry essential oils and all this stuff in my bag. I'm thinking if I can understand what's happening.
You're just going to put some oil on her. Shut up, ho.
And maybe I can do something.
Okay.
So she discloses to me that she drank too much before she got on the plane.
There's a surprise.
So as soon as drink service opens up, she orders a shot. And then a second, third, fourth. I think by the time drink service ended, she got 8 or 9 shots of something. The lady then cut her off. And as soon as she cut her off and food service ended...
8 shots? Is that what you had just said?
Mm-hmm. She proceeded to attack the vomit bag and full on imploded.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going, oh, great. This is a fabulous trip, right? So then here comes the flight attendant. Ma'am, are you okay? What can I get you? So they're trying to figure it out. Long story short, this poor woman, and I have empathy for her, okay? But also you made poor choices. Yeah. This poor woman was on a flight to rehab.
When did you find that out?
Hour 4 of the flight, after she had completely vomited all her insides into her bag, my bag, and Michael's bag of vomit.
Oh, she took all the bags.
She took all the bags and then spent a good hour in the bathroom. Yeah, Mariah, they did. They served her that much. And what do you do? So anyway, she disclosed to me, I'm on my way to rehab. I'm really scared. I don't think I can do this. And like full on, just complete heartfelt
drunken tears.
They
were still drunken tears. Not that they aren't heartfelt.
And what do you do with that?
What did you do with that, Luce?
You just
did you
witnessed
spray
somebody
her with some oils? You know what I would have done?
Well,
and there's a wall.
There's not a wall. I mean, I took classes in this when I was in school, like ethics of caring, right? So I was like tapping into my resources, but like I authentically felt bad for the girl.
Me too.
On 2 levels. Like one level, she couldn't control herself, and I can understand being scared of making a huge life change, right? Sure. And probably not having a choice in the matter. I'm pretty sure her family did an intervention. They threw her on a plane and went, you need to go or you're out, right? Because that's what it felt like. And then there's the other side of it where she can't help herself and she has to have a drink to get through the experience. And now she's vomiting in front of people, and she is so alcohol tolerant that she knows what's going on because the alcohol isn't fucking her up anymore. She has such a high tolerance for it that even those 8 or 9 shots didn't get her completely wasted. They just made her sick because she was on an empty stomach.
Wow. See, I didn't follow all that. I just thought she was having 8 shots because she thought it would be fun.
Well,
yeah.
it's out of nerves and anxiety, and so you never know who you're sitting next to, and the bottom line is people be nice because you don't know what that person is going through.
You can't,
right? No. But this just took a grim turn.
Yeah.
But my point is that your person could just have easily been going through something similar. The difference is you didn't get the know-how as to why she was in the state she was and took a dump dive into the aisle.
It wasn't my flight.
You were just a third-party experiencer going, oh my God, this woman, holy crap. And really, she could have been going through something similar.
But she was on the Vegas flight.
I know, but Vegas...
that was the whole point of the story. And that's why flight attendants don't want that flight.
But Vegas, I know they don't want that flight. But Vegas is not only an attraction to people who want to party, but it's also an attraction to people who are addicts.
Do we have a koala? Why is everything flashing? Where's
everything's flashing.
Is
that's Aaron flashing us? The phone's flashing.
Things.
The red button's flashing. The strobe is flashing.
I don't even know what all that is.
The record button. I don't know.
I don't know what's happening.
We didn't even give him the number. This has become very serious.
On there.
We're changing this over.
It's on the.
It's on the screen for people watching, but those of you listening,
where is my mom?
The number is 702-329-6947. 702-329-6947. Why does my phone or my watch just say breaking news? President Trump releases first something.
That sounds like it was from. Did Trump get elected again?
No, he's going through an indictment. First recorded statement since the. Okay, wow. Sorry, folks. Ooh, squirrel.
I would like to tell you a story.
Please do.
I'm about to say something really stupid.
Marsha, why aren't you calling me?
Yeah, Marsha, help us. You've been on a lot of flights.
Marsha.
She has. Marsha.
Help me, Marsha. Help me, Marsha.
A lot of flights. I would like to tell you a story. I'll try to condense it. The story has a point, so don't jump ahead. Just listen to the words coming out of my mouth because it has a point.
I was listening, ho.
At the very end. Once upon a time, there was a family, and the father of this family said to the mother of his children, I would like to get our son an aquarium. Would you be in for that? And she said, sure, but you need to take care of the aquarium. She didn't want to be the one figuring out the pH balance and figuring out the health of fish. Why are you already laughing? That's not even the
Because I know
point.
This ends with a lot of dead fish.
Well, they didn't know that. Thank you.
No, I'm just.
Thank you.
It's logic.
There's
a man. You're really.
That wasn't even the point. No. Okay. The mother said, go ahead and get in the fish tank. So the dad does. And there's a tank and there's SpongeBob aquarium accessories.
Was it saltwater or freshwater?
Freshwater. For their 6-year-old who, had a SpongeBob situation. Yeah, for about 2 seconds.
And then go play with the
sharks. Yeah, which he did.
Yeah.
So then it's there and someone needs to take care of it, right? And exactly what the mom didn't want happens. The tank starts to take on the look of the fish ghetto. It looks like the projects. There's, slime all up, fish projects. Slime all up and down the tank. Everything's just all
Didn't you have a bottom
gross.
feeder in the ghetto?
We're getting to that. Anyway, then the father thinks he's brilliant, right? He makes an announcement. And this is what he says. There will be no more fish. There will be no more. No more fish.
Why? Because he killed them all?
No, we're not getting any more because when they die, as soon as they die, that's one closer that we can get rid of the tank. Okay. So that was the
hence
motive
the bottom feeder
behind it. Now, the very next day after he makes this grand, brilliant announcement, the wife's friend calls and says unto her, the last of the fish has died in our tank. the last of the fish is gone. I can get rid of the whole thing. She was in the same situation. She's like, the only thing that's left is the sucky fish. Will you take him?
They live forever.
And then then the other woman has to say, oh, geez, he just said no more fish, blah, blah, blah. But her friend sounded so disappointed that she's like, you know what? Maybe they won't even notice. Just bring him over. Bring over the sucky fish. Maybe no one will notice. We'll put him in the tank and it'll all be good. And your problems are over and we'll just figure it out. Friend comes over carrying a bag with a sucky fish in it up the stairs to put it in the tank. The sucky fish is already shat. There's like,
of course,
big old, shadoobies all in the thing. You dump him in the tank. Now, the sucky fish is huge. Like this long and thick with the bug eyes and the antenna is all up in. You know what they look like?
I do. I had one.
Well, I never had one.
Oh,
and it was there.
Yeah.
Then there's nowhere for it to hide because it's so big. It couldn't fit under any of the accessories that were the SpongeBob accessories in the tank. And so she's giggling and she says, let me know when they discover it.
Oh
and okay, I'll let you know. So then we go into evening. And the mom is out taking their daughter somewhere and the phone rings. And it's the father who started the tank. And he says, there's a fish in the tank. It's brilliant. There's a fish in the tank. What? There's a fish in the tank. This is really horrible if you did this. Horrible. Horrible is a word that I reserve for truly horrible things. War is horrible. Things of that nature. And so she says, we'll have to talk about this later. What do you mean? I only paid $300 for it on eBay. We got enough fish. It's going to take forever for it to die and blah, blah, blah. So you go home. There's more bitching. I can't believe you got a fish. These things live forever. And now we're just going to have to deal with all of this. And it's like, you're going to have to let this go. You're going to have to let it go. It's a fish. Okay? Everybody settle down. Bitch, bitch, bitch. Still bitching until bedtime, just bitching. Now, fast forward, it's the next morning. I told you that the tank was like the projects. You wake up the very next morning. It is pristine. It is like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood up in there. It is perfect. It's a beautiful day in the beauty wood. I mean, it looks great.
It was spotless.
And the sucky fish had just left one little teeny little spot of disgustingness on one of the windows. It was clear. And
he was hungry, clearly,
and had himself a feast. Now, does the mom get any credit at all for inviting the sucky fish into their lives? And
that's of course not.
Well, this was discussed, Marcia. When you flush, so you use the sucky and just flush them down? You can't. No, not in this household. Okay, listen to what happened next in this story. So after all the bitching, there was no, oh, what a great idea, a sucky fish. Now the tank doesn't look like the projects. Oh, no. Okay, and nobody says squat, right? And we all go about our day. Everybody's going about their day. And then the mom comes home, and what does she see in that tank? After all the bitching and moaning from the dad, she sees a castle. A castle and a cave. Big enough for the sucky to go into. Went from Eddie Murphy's Mr. Robert, that is correct, to Mr. Rogers, which was their thing. Thank you for remembering that, Mariah. It is so true. So, do you remember Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood?
I do.
Oh, look, an eviction notice. You want to see what you do this with, Mr. Landlord? Because we were kind of giving the fish an eviction notice with, and people feel bad. Everybody's like, it's only fish. No, the tank needed to be pristine, and it wasn't until Sucky came. You come home, there's a cave and a castle in the
more
tank.
Fish, I'm guessing.
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. But this said that the dad wanted to keep Sucky happy, and there was nowhere for Sucky to be. He went up next to the heater and just tried to blend with his antenna.
Mine like to stick behind, like he'd suck himself behind the filter intake where the bubbles were.
Yeah. The bubbles.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He'd get massaged.
And I was debating on writing a book, and we could call it A Castle for Sucky. Castle for Sucky. Because
That could be misconstrued.
Sucky got a castle. Well, you know what I mean. I just told the whole story. Because Sucky got a castle, people. And it would help teach stupid little kids that you don't want to be bitching and complaining.
Yeah, we know, David.
Oh,
We just don't think that's as fun.
It isn't. I can't even. How do you say that?
Placostomus.
Is that like spelt?
It's spelt, yes. Placostomus.
I love that you know that.
I had
do.
one. I had two. It was ginormous. Yay big. I'm not exaggerating. The thing was ginormous, but I had like a 50-gallon tank. So they grow to the size of the tank of their surroundings. So they just keep growing until they maximize their space.
Well, and that is what the father who bought the castle for Sucky said in this scenario. He was like, oh my God, this is going to be a 7-year pet because it won't die forever. I think he died within like 2 years. I don't know. But bitch, moan. The point of the story, bitch, moan, to the point that there was no sleeping because we need to bitch. The next day, when everything is pristine, not only is there not any more bitching, but there's new accessories for Sucky in the castle as if to promote his life. No thank yous. No, oh, what a great idea. No, nothing like that. And I thought, what a marvelous lesson. Not just for stupid little kids, but adults. All of us. When things unfold in our lives that seem very negative, to perhaps be like, well, that's interesting. I wonder what could come of that. Now, that's easier said than done. I'm not saying that that's always easy, but it was just a sucky fish.
I learned that there might be one or two things that happen in your life that could change all the things going on in your life. That's what the moral of that story is.
Is that what you had learned?
That's what I learned.
Praise.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. What I learned is it has to be somebody else's idea or it doesn't count.
There is that.
There is that. But, there's a lot of stories like that. For example, this is a true story. Somebody, how men are all into their car stereos. They like all the latest bells and whistles and shit. I don't even know what those are, but this person goes and gets a car stereo, has it put in his car, it's there. Doesn't even have it for a week. People break into the car, yank out the stereo, damage the car in the process, and off they go. And this guy's friends are like, shit, that sucks. What are you going to do now? You got all this damage and stuff. And he just put out there, I don't know how this serves me well, but I know that it must. Which, you can't really share with people because it'd be like, no, it pretty much sucks. You're screwed, But he did that. And then off he goes through the normal red tape to fix his car. And he goes to the insurance company and takes his car to this particular, body shop. And they're like, oh, yeah, it looks really bad, but actually, yum. Bling. Who's bling?
Who's bling?
Who's wearing bling? Who's wearing the bling? I don't know. Do we have on bling? It's you.
Is it me?
Yours are shinier. Yeah. Anywho, so then he takes his car to the body shop and they said, yeah, it looks really bad, but actually all we have to do is bang out this and do that. It's only going to cost X amount. Then he gets the check from the insurance company for fixing the stuff, and it was the exact amount to the penny for a stereo that he wanted in the first place. So the original stereo that he picked, that was the second best stereo. He didn't even get the first. So what's interesting here is that to the penny, it was for what he originally wanted. And I feel that it was the universe rewarding him.
Sure.
For just, instead of, oh my God, my car, my stereo, blah, kind of like, a sucky fish, you got a sucky fish, oh my God, this is really horrible. It ended up with a castle for Sucky. Sucky lived better than a lot of people I know. And I just thought that, I don't know that there's a lot of other books out there with that kind of, there's books with all kinds of morals and stuff. I felt like I could do an adult version.
You should.
With some curse words in it. And
you should.
And the illustration of the sucky fish with the big
Adults love children's books
bug
that
eyes.
are, children's books and children's cartoons that are tailored to adults.
I have a coffee table book. It's called Do You Want to Play with My Bowls? And I should bring it on the show and read it one day.
And on that note,
oh my God, is the show over? What time is it? What? Oh yeah, it is. Oh my gosh,
God,
the
girl.
hour's
Oh my
already
God.
over. Well, Lucie, do you have any grievances to air? Isn't there anything awful and stupid that's happened to you in the past week that we could discuss? Awful and stupid. There has to be something.
no. But if I have a grievance to air, it would be, what is it with people being so used to being put down that when they get a compliment, they can't accept the compliment?
What happened to you, Luce?
Well, I complimented somebody like wholeheartedly for a job very well done, and in return got a lot of negativity, as if I was supposed to know the condition of that individual prior to the compliment.
I understand.
And they were all upset because I didn't acknowledge the state that they were in to put out the result that I was complimenting. And first of all, I felt like, okay, if I was somebody else and not somebody you knew, this wouldn't even be an issue. You would take the compliment, thank them, and move on. But because you know me, you think that we're going back to he thought that I could read his mind.
There's no mind reading.
Right?
There's none.
And so what turned into a legitimate offering of support and love and honest to goodness, like had a fabulous time and it was a great compliment, turned into a big old argument because I didn't read a mind.
Well,
So with that note, people, when somebody pays you a compliment, just take it. Yes,
it's like
indeed,
shoving
Mariah.
a gift back to someone, and you
It
know where they're
was. It
shoving it.
kinda
So
was.
thank you, Mariah,
Yeah.
for illustrating that so perfectly.
Yeah.
Thank you. See,
Yeah.
people get it. People get it.
It's
It just
true.
goes to show. But see, you're not a mind reader,
No.
and neither was he.
I would love to have that talent.
Oh,
I
my-
know there's
wouldn't-
courses and books on it. You've probably looked into some,
You know,
knowing you.
there's
But
some creepy
I don't
stuff
know
out
it.
there.
I don't know it. I can body read, but that's about as far as it goes. So people sometimes take face value, right? That's all I'm saying.
Know your audience and know this. You know, a compliment, even if it is not well received, I want for you to not be discouraged to giving compliment. I feel people are very compliment stingy. Compliments.
yeah.
I like to go out in public as soon as I see something that I think is fabulous. I put it out there.
Indeed.
Thank you. All right. Thank
On
you
that
for
note,
being
folks,
with us.
We'll
Thank
be
you,
with
ladies
you
and
next
gentlemen.
week, Tuesday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
To discuss more
We are trying to
stupidity.
go live on all our new platforms. So if you would be
Yes.
so kind as to take a minute and like and support all the pages that we have so that we can bring all this fabulous information to you on every platform, that would be great. We're also now officially on Roku. All the previous
Roku.
episodes are on Roku. You can watch them anytime. And yeah, this was a fun episode. Thanks for
Yep.
joining us. We
Cheers.
look forward to
Cheers,
seeing you again.
hoes. Thank you for being here.
Cheers.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.